Hi students. So in our previous video we were talking about the properties of inverse trigonometric functions. So today I am continuing with some of the properties of the inverse trigonometric functions, and later with the some of the exercise questions based upon those properties of inverse trigonometric functions. So in the trigonometry which you have learnt in the class 11th, you have came across most of the properties or the identities upon the trigonometric functions. So I have listed some of the properties here. So with I hope you all people remember all these properties by right now. So if you know the trigonometric identities, means with the trigonometric identities how you can be able to derive the inverse trigonometric identities, let us see here in this video today. So we know that sine 2 theta is equal to 2 tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. So we all know this identity. Suppose if I take tan theta is equal to alpha or any x, means suppose here I am taking tan theta is equal to x. Suppose if I take tan theta is equal to x, what happens to our theta? Theta will become tan inverse of alpha. So let us substitute that one in this identity. So what happens that identity? That is nothing but sine 2 theta means what? Tan inverse of alpha, which is equal to 2 tan theta. So tan theta means alpha, so 2 times alpha divided by 1 plus tan square theta means alpha square. So if I bring this sign to the RHS, what we are going to get? We are going to get 2 tan inverse alpha is equal to sine inverse of 2 alpha divided by 1 plus alpha squared. Suppose if I express this alpha in terms of x, means what? We are having 2 tan inverse of x is equal to sine inverse of 2x divided by 1 plus x square. I hope you people all remember this property or the identity, which I have already proved this identity in the last video. So there we have saw the how we are proving this identity, but here I am showing you how we derive this identity with the trigonometric identity. Suppose if you don't remember this identity, means if you remember this trigonometric identity, means with the help of trigonometric identities, this is how we are deriving that inverse trigonometric identity. So proof is, I hope you all people know, by taking x is equal to tan theta we are used to prove this identity. So similarly for here, cos 2 theta is equal to 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. Here also again we are taking our tan theta is equal to x. So what happens there? Cos 2, then theta is nothing but tan inverse of x. So theta, in place of theta I am replacing it by tan inverse of x. So what happens here? 1 minus x square divided by 1 plus x square. So clearly 2 tan inverse of x is equal to cos inverse of 1 minus x square divided by 1 plus x square. So again this identity you have already came across in the previous video. So there we have proved this. In this video I am deriving how this identity is going to be obtained with the trigonometric identity. Similarly you can try to derive this one again by taking tan theta is equal to x. To prove this one, this is the hint. By taking tan theta is equal to x, you can derive what is the formula in terms of tan. We are going to get for tan inverse of x. So this is not at all mentioned in your NCERT textbook, but I preferring you to with this one also, so that it will be easy for each trigonometric identities if you know the inverse trigonometric identity also, means. So here we are having sine 3 theta is equal to 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta. So again here I am taking sine theta is equal to x. So taking sine theta is equal to x, what does that imply? Theta is equal to sine inverse of x. So now I am substituting that one in this identity. So what happens to that identity? Sine 3, in place of theta we are having sine inverse of x is equal to 3x minus 4x cube. 3 sine x minus 4x cube. So if I bring that sign to the RHS, we are going to get the identity for 3 sine inverse x, that is nothing but 3 sine inverse x is equal to sine inverse of 3x minus 4x cube. So this is the identity. So this is how we derived this one with the help of trigonometric identity. Suppose if we need to prove this one, means what we are going to do, we are taking or we are substituting x is equal to sine theta. Suppose if I substitute x is equal to sine theta, means what happens, we are going to get 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta, which is the formula of sine 3 theta. So sine inverse of sine 3 theta is nothing but 3 theta. So theta we are replacing it by sine inverse x, which is equal to 3 sine inverse x. So this is how we are going to prove it by taking x is or substituting x is equal to sine theta. So for next, for cos 3 theta, here again I am taking cos theta is equal to x. By taking cos theta is equal to x, what happens? This implies theta is equal to cos inverse of x. Now I am substituting all that in that identity. So cos 3 cos inverse of x is equal to 4x cube minus 3x. So that is nothing but 3 cos inverse of x is equal to cos inverse of 4x cube minus 3x. So this is the identity of 3 cos inverse of x. So suppose if you need to prove this one, means what is the hint? What is the hint? You can try it by yourself. By taking x is equal to cos theta, you can prove this identity. Similarly for this one, tan 3 theta is equal to 3 tan theta minus tan cube theta divided by 1 minus 3 tan square theta. Here I am taking tan theta is equal to x. That implies theta is equal to tan inverse of x. What happens to this identity? That is tan 3 tan inverse of x is equal to 3x minus x cube divided by 1 minus 3x square. So that is nothing but 3 tan inverse of x is equal to tan inverse of 3x minus x cube divided by 1 minus 3x square. So this is the identity of 3 tan inverse of x. Suppose if you need to prove, means the hint is taking x is equal to tan theta, within the bracket we are going to get the formula of 3 tan theta, tan 3 theta, and that time you can substitute and you can get the LHS. So this is how we are going to prove. Proving part I have given with the hint, you can do it by yourself. So this is how. Why I explained today with this concept, means suppose in the examination hall, suppose if you forgot with the formula of inverse trigonometric identities, means, and if you know the trigonometric identities, means you can derive the formula of inverse trigonometric identities with the help of this trigonometric identities. So to give that idea, I have done with this concept, and this is not at all in your NCERT textbook. So not this 3. So that's why I have did it personally. So it will be helpful for your exercise problems or one or the other way. It will be helpful. So that's why I have done with this concept. So in your previous video regarding the properties of inverse trigonometric functions, you have seen across these type of questions. I think this is your first example questions which I have solved in the previous video. So in every like this type of question, in the beginning you might have seen the substitution. You have seen about some of the substitution, that is substitutions like what we are going to take. We are taking here x is equal to some trigonometric function. So which for how we are going to take it, and what is the role of these things. So all these things in detail they have not at all given in your textbook, and they have not at all given importance for this concept also. So in the previous video I didn't explain about the importance of the value of x, but I feel it more uncomfortable. Without knowing this importance, it is not that good in solving any of the problem. According to a NCERT textbook, this importance is not at all that much important. But today, while solving each and exercise problems, I am going to explain the importance of this x also. So first let us see the substitution part. What is the importance of this, or how we are going to take the values for x here. So again, I have listed here some of the trigonometric identities which you have already learnt in your class 11th of cos 2 theta, sin 2 theta, tan 2 theta, and about some of the square of some of the trigonometric identities, and sin 3 theta, cos 3 theta, and tan 3 theta's identities. So now first let us deal with like this type of identities. Suppose if in any of the question it is in the form of 1 minus x square, or in place of 1 there is of a square. In place of 1, if I substitute it by a might be any number or any real number, so a square minus x square. Suppose the question is in this format or in this format, means at that time we are going to substitute x as equal to a cos theta or a sin theta. Suppose if it is 1 minus x square, means in place of a 1, so that is nothing but x is equal to cos theta or sin theta. We are substituting like this. So concentrate here itself. So this is one of the special case of this one. So concentrate here. If the question is in the form of a square minus x square, means at that time we are substituting x as equal to a cos theta or a sin theta. Why so? Why so? Because we know this identity. Suppose if I am substituting x is equal to a cos theta, means what happens? A square minus a square cos square theta. So suppose if I take a square common outside, means what is remaining? 1 minus cos square theta. So 1 minus cos square theta is nothing but sin square theta. So the substitution, the main importance of the substitution is, to simplify the given question. Along with the simplification of a given question, what are they expecting according to their demand? So what does that means? Means simplifying the given question according to their demand. For that importance we are doing the substitution. So not only simplification, what the question required, according to that we are going to simplify the given question. So suppose if it is question is in the form of a square minus x square, means whether it is suitable if we put a cos theta, means whether the question is going to be simplified or not. Suppose if we put a sin theta, means it is more helpful, or whether this is helpful. So that is purely based upon our judgment, based upon the given question. So this is how the simplification is going to be dealt. Suppose if the question is in the format of a square plus x square. Suppose the question is in this format, means at that time we are substituting x as, clearly you can see here, at that time we are substituting x as either x is equal to tan theta or x is equal to a cot theta. So at that time what happens? A square plus a square tan square theta. If I take a square common outside, mean 1 plus tan square theta, which is nothing but secant square theta. So the question might require x is equal to a tan theta to get simplification, or some other question it might require a cot theta, so that the question's simplification is going to become even much more easier. So the thing is, suppose if it is in this format, means our idea should get into mind is either x should be replaced by a tan theta or a cot theta. In this case we can't replace it by either a cos theta or a sin theta. At that time simplification is not going to be get so easily. So in this format we are substituting by either this or this. In this format we are substituting either this or by this. Similarly, if the question is in the form of a minus x, means at that time we are replacing x by either x is equal to cot theta or x is equal to cos 2 theta. Why so? Means you can see here the formula for cos 2 theta. What does that implies? Cos 2 theta is equal to 2 cos square theta minus 1. Another one is cos 2 theta is equal to 1 minus 2 sine square theta. Suppose if I reshuffle this one, means what happens? I am going to get here, it is 1 plus cos 2 theta is equal to 2 cos square theta. Another here it is, that is if I reshuffle again here also, means 1 minus cos 2 theta is equal to 2 sine square theta. So the question is in the format what? 1 minus x, or in place of 1 we are having a. Suppose if I replace our x by either cos theta or cos 2 theta, means simultaneously we are going to get the respective identities with this trigonometric identity. Suppose in this one a minus x, if I replace x by cos theta, means what happens? It is nothing but, it can't be cos theta, a cos theta. So a cos theta. So if a comes common, means 1 minus cos theta. So it is in which format? It is in this form, in this format, 1 minus cos theta. So if 1 minus 2 cos 2 theta means 2 sine square theta. So 1 minus cos theta means what happens? 2 sine square theta by 2, half angle thing. So what happens here? That is nothing but a 2 sine square theta by 2. So this is how we are going to be simplified. Suppose if we taken according to our question, if we take here a cos 2 theta, means at that time here we are going to get 2 sine square theta. So it purely depends here our substitution based upon the question also. But when it comes with a minus x or a plus x, a minus x means 2 sine square theta, a plus x means at that time also if you substitute with by, when it comes with a plus x also, in both the case a minus x as well as in a plus x, in both the case we are substituting x by either cos theta or cos 2 theta, because we are having the formula in both the case, a minus x as well as a plus x. In a plus x we are going to get 2 cos square theta, and a minus x means 2 sine square theta. So that is how we are going to be dealt with the substitution part. So this is one of the general ideas. So remember this one and this one. So which is most helpful based upon looking into your exercise question. I came up with this idea so that you feel it easier when dealing with each exercise question. So there is no thing of explaining each and every time looking into a minus x, a square minus x square, why we are substituting this one. So now with this idea we can deal with each and every question directly. So this is one of the example question which I have already solved in the previous video. So with this idea you can see here, if we need to prove this one. So while proving this one, you can see here 1 minus x square. So it is in which format? A square minus x square. Suppose if a square minus x square comes, means what type of how we are substituting? Either we are substituting with a cos theta or a sin theta. Now look into the question. So simplification we came to know according to their demand. So let us see, we need to get this one. If we take LHS, suppose if I substitute here x with cos theta, means what happens? 1 minus cos square theta, it is nothing but square root of sin theta. What happens there? Suppose if I substitute it by cos theta, means 2 cos theta. So square root of 1 minus cos square theta. So 1 minus cos square theta is sin theta. So square root of sin square theta is nothing but sin theta. So what happens? 2 cos theta into sin theta, we are having the identity, that is sin 2 theta. So sin inverse of sin 2 theta we have got it, and we used to write sin inverse of sin 2 theta is equal to 2 theta. So without an idea, because in the beginning while explaining the properties I have used to say that Sine inverse of sin x is equal to x when x belongs to minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So this is the condition we used to say if x belongs within this range, means only at that time you can write this identity I have already explained. But here they are not at all giving that much importance of this interval. So this what they have given the value of x, what it is saying means it is saying the validity of this question. Within this range this question is true. So before writing sin inverse of sin 2 theta is equal to 2 theta, we must check whether this 2 theta belongs to this interval, because the identity is valid only when x belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So we need to check whether 2 theta belongs to this interval or not. So for that we have to deal with this given interval. What they have said, 1 by root 2 is less than x, which is less than 1 by root 2. It is minus 1 by root 2. So what I have substituted here, I have substituted x with cos theta. So what happens, I have taken x is equal to cos theta, substituting that one here. Minus 1 by root 2 is less than cos theta less than 1 by root 2. So cos inverse of minus 1 by root 2 is less than theta, which is less than cos inverse of 1 by root 2. So for what value of cos inverse minus 1 by root 2 we are going to get? It is nothing but, so that is nothing but minus pi by 4, which is less than theta, which is less than pi by 4. But what we required here, we required for 2 theta. So suppose if I multiply 2, means what happens, 2 ones are 2 to the minus pi by 2 less than or equal to 2 theta less than or equal to multiplying 2 to the whole equation. At that time this becomes 2 theta is lying between minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So sin inverse of sin 2 theta, in that theta is lying between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So since 2 theta is belonging to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, now we have got with the condition for sin inverse of sin x, which is satisfying the standard condition. So we can write sin inverse of sin 2 theta is equal to 2 theta, where theta is equal to what? Here we have substituted theta is equal to what? I mean cos theta is equal to, what we have taken, x is equal to cos theta, but what we are going to get, theta is equal to cos inverse x, but 2 cos inverse x we got. This is not required here, we needed sin inverse of x. Suppose if we take x is equal to cos theta, it is not at all going to be satisfied, so we need to take x is equal to sin theta. So this is how we need to generalize. So beginning I have taken x is equal to cos theta, so that's why I got here 2 cos inverse of x is 2 cos inverse. Suppose if we take x is equal to sin theta, means we are going to get here 2 sin inverse x itself. That is the second question you can check. But the importance what I in this video is I am mentioning here is the checking here. How we are going to check this one. Before writing sin inverse of sin 2 theta is equal to 2 theta, we need to check whether this belongs to our principal value branch or not. It will going to belong, because all the questions are standard questions in your NCERT textbook. So but you should know this one, because without knowing this one it is like blankly writing sin inverse of sin 2 theta is equal to 2 theta, because I have already explained that much in each and every video. And if you don't understand now this concept, means it will be like it is a wastage of explaining extra concepts in the video. So that's why I have explained this one in this video. So correct here students, I have taken x is equal to cos theta in the beginning. So for this question we need to substitute x is equal to sin theta to get this one as the answer in the RHS. Okay, correct it. But this part here, if I take sin theta, means here we are going to get sin inverse. Sin inverse, again sin inverse of minus 1 by root 2 is also minus pi by 4. Sin inverse of 1 by root 2 is also pi by 4 itself. So there is no changes, but here it comes sin inverse. So check it, correct it. Here it is sin theta. So that's all. So now let us move to the exercise question. So solving each and exercise questions, you will come to understand each and every trigonometric concept crystal clear. So this is the first question. Here we need to prove this one. So 3 sin inverse x is equal to sin inverse of 3x minus 4x cube when x belongs to minus 1 by 2 to 1 by 2. So now by looking into this question, so to solve each inverse trigonometric questions, you must be thorough with all trigonometric properties or identities. So by looking here 3x minus 4x cube, you come with the clear idea, that is, suppose if I substitute x with sin theta, means what we are going to get, 3 sin theta minus 4 sin cube theta. So 3 sin theta minus 4 sin cube theta, it is the formula or the identity of sin 3 theta. So sin inverse of sin 3 theta we are going to get. So we can solve it simpler way. So clearly with that identity, knowing that identity, I am substituting here x is equal to sin theta. So when I am substituting x is equal to sin theta, what happens to our RHS? In the RHS, sin inverse 3 sin theta minus 4 sin cube theta. So which is nothing but what? Sin inverse of, this is the identity of what? Sin 3 theta. So sin inverse of sin theta. But we know that sin inverse of sin 3 theta is equal to 3 theta. We can write it 3 theta only when 3 theta belongs to the principal value branch of sin inverse. That is, when 3 theta belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Because why I am writing that condition? We know that sin inverse of sin x is equal to x when x belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. We know this property, right? So in place of x we are having 3 theta. So when 3 theta belongs to minus pi by 2 pi by 2, we need to check this one before writing this one. How we are going to check? You can see here x belongs to, it is greater than or equal to minus 1 by 2, less than or equal to 1 by 2. So with this one we can see whether 3 theta is within this range or not. So what is x? X is sin theta. So I am substituting x is equal to sin theta here. Okay. So when I substitute x is equal to sin theta and you take the inverse on whole equation, means sin inverse of minus 1 by 2 less than or equal to theta, which is less than equal to sin inverse of 1 by 2. So sin inverse of minus 1 by 2, it is nothing but minus pi by 6 less than or equal to theta less than or equal to pi by 6. But what we required, we are not at all interested in theta. We are interested in 3 theta. So what we are doing, I am multiplying whole inequality by 3. So what happens here, if I multiply by 3, means 3 ones are 3 twos are, that is minus pi by 2 less than or equal to 3 theta less than or equal to again pi by 2. So you can see here our 3 theta, it is belonging to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So clearly this is satisfying, this 3 theta is within that range. So we can write it, sin inverse of sin 3 theta is equal to 3 theta, where theta is nothing but what? It is nothing but sin inverse of x. So I am replacing it by sin inverse of x, which is nothing but our LHS. So most of the people while solving, we are only concentrated upon this much only. We are least bothered about these concepts, but this is also very important because we must know all these things when we are going to be write sin inverse of sin x is equal to x at this condition, whether this 3 theta is satisfying this condition or not. Let us check. How can be able to check with the given range or what they have given the domain value of x? Within that we can check whether it is satisfying this condition or not. So this is how the actual solving is there. But in your NCERT, all these concepts are not at all given that much of importance. They have dealing directly with sin inverse of sin 3 theta is equal to 3 theta, because the question, in the question itself, what the values of x they have given, that itself it is indicating the validity of each and every question. So each what the value of x they have given in every question, that value of x is saying that each question is having the validity in this range. So 99.9% of the questions are going to satisfy all the properties, but I expect everyone should be able to know this thing also, to solve each and every question properly or clearly. So now let us move to the next question, that is 3 cos inverse x is equal to cos inverse 4x cube minus 3x, where x is belonging within the domain that is half to 1. So now again, by looking into this question, that is 4x cube minus 3x, we can say that what the value of x can be substituted here. So we know that the identity has 4 cos cube theta minus 3 cos theta is nothing but it is an identity of cos 3 theta. So here I can substitute x is equal to cos theta. Suppose when I am substituting here x is equal to cos theta, what happens to our RHS? It is nothing but cos inverse of 4 cos cube theta minus 3 cos theta, where this gives the formula or the identity of cos 3 theta. Now we are having cos inverse of cos 3 theta. So I am able to write cos inverse of cos 3 theta is equal to 3 theta when 3 theta belongs to what? Principal value branch of cos inverse. What is the principal value branch of cos inverse? That is when 3 theta belongs to 0 to pi. In that case only we are able to write. So what the value here they have given? Our value of x they have given, it is ranging from minus 1 by 2 to 1. What is x here? Cos theta value, it is ranging from 1 by 2 to 1. So here now I am explaining it graphically. So you should have the graphical idea also. For that case I am doing here this one graphically. So we know the graph of cos, that is it will be like this, right? So cos theta, it is ranging from half to 1. So half means somewhere here, 1 means somewhere here, not here, somewhere here, not here itself. So it is half, this is 1. So clearly 1 means the value is 0, half means clearly it is pi by 3. So clearly our theta, it is varying from where? 0 to pi by 3. So 0 to pi by 3, but what we required here, we are required 3 theta. So what happens if we multiply 3, means here it is 0 itself, here it becomes 0 to pi. Clearly our 3 theta, it is ranging from 0 to pi. So we can write cos inverse of cos 3 theta is equal to 3 theta, since 3 theta is belonging within this range. So what is our theta? Theta is nothing but cos inverse of x. So I am replacing theta as cos inverse of x, which is nothing but our LHS. So we have proved 3 cos inverse of x is equal to cos inverse of 4x cube minus 3x. So now let us move to the next question, that is tan inverse 2 by 11 plus tan inverse 7 by 24 is equal to tan inverse 1 by 2. So we need to prove this one. So we have the identity, that is tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y is equal to tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus xy. So now let us use this identity. So in place of x we are having 2 by 11, in place of y we are having 7 by 24. So that is tan inverse of 2 by 11 plus tan inverse of 7 by 24, which is equal to, according to this formula, tan inverse of 2 by 11 plus 7 by 24 divided by 1 minus 2 by 11 into 7 by 24. So our LCM, that is 11 into 24. So 11 into 24, it is nothing but 264. So what happens here? 24 into 2, 48 plus 77 divided by 264 divided by 24 minus 14 divided by 264, where 264 get cancels. So clearly tan inverse of 48 plus 77, it is nothing but 125 divided by 24 minus not 24, it is 264, sorry, it is a mistake, correct it. So 264 minus 14 means it is nothing but 250. So upon cancelling 1 2, it is nothing but tan inverse of 1 by 2, which is nothing but our RHS. So we have proved our LHS is equal to RHS. So now let us move to the next question, that is 2 tan inverse 1 by 2 plus tan inverse 1 by 7 is equal to tan inverse 31 by 17. But observe here clearly, this is not in the form of tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y, because here we are having 2 tan inverse 1 by 2. So we have one of the formula, that is 2 tan inverse of x, it is equal to tan inverse of 2x divided by 1 minus x square. We have 2 tan inverse of x. For this one we are having 3 formulas, each one in terms of sin inverse, one in terms of cos inverse, another in term of tan inverse. Why we used here tan inverse only means, to this question we are having corresponding element in terms of tan. So we have another formula in terms of tan, that is tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y is equal to tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus xy. So suppose upon substituting 2 tan inverse of x in terms of tan, means we are going to get one element which will be in form of tan inverse itself. So if we get this element in terms of tan, means at that time we can use this identity and we can solve this problem easily. So that's why we used this formula. So what happens? 2 tan inverse 1 by 2 is equal to tan inverse 2 into 1 by 2 divided by 1 minus 1 by 4. 2 get cancels. What happens? Tan inverse 1 divided by 3 by 4, which is nothing but tan inverse of 4 by 3. So 2 tan inverse 1 by 2 is nothing but tan inverse 4 by 3. So it is nothing but now what? Tan inverse of 4 by 3 plus tan inverse of 1 by 7. Now with this identity I can write it as tan inverse of 4 by 3 plus 1 by 7 divided by 1 minus 4 by 3 into 1 by 7. So that is nothing but tan inverse of 28 plus 3 divided by 21, 21 minus 4 divided by 21 get cancels, 28 plus 3, it is nothing but 31 divided by 17, which is nothing but our RHS. We have proved the given question right now here. So this is how we are solving the questions. So in the first two questions we have seen the substitution part. In the next two questions we have seen how we are using the identities in each of the questions to get the LHS is equal to RHS. So today in this video, go clearly in that introduction part in this video which I have done. So it is like it is the basic concept which I have explained in that introduction part of the beginning in this video, is that is like it is very much important to understand the basic of this inverse trigonometric and trigonometric concept. And if you understand this substitution part clearly while doing each and every questions, means at that time the calculus part, in the calculus part you will feel it very much easier to solve most of the questions. So that's why I have explained most of the concept which will be very easier in the calculus part by here itself, so that you can feel it very easy. So go with all those concepts clearly. If you have any doubts or any confusions in any concept, means you can ask me at any time, students. So this is about the today's video. So go through it clearly. Thank you.